to my channel. So as you can tell by the title, this video is about my cuckoo crazy puffs, like not right in the head neighbor when I had my first apartment. Okay, so just jumping right into the video. Oh, and I got audio because I knew eventually down the line that I was in, guys, I can't find which smoke detector that is that's like beeping. So I know I promised you guys that I would get rid of it, but I can't find which one it is because like my house is kind of big and I have like 80 smoke detectors in here. So sorry about that. I'm sorry. Anyways, yeah, this video is about her being absolutely crazy, and I knew one day that I was going to film a video on it, so I actually went ahead and recorded a lot of it back then. This was like a year and a half ago. So yeah, getting into the video. The main problem between me and this neighbor, first of all, I signed a year lease. The rent was $750 a month. Apartment. It had three bedrooms, but one of the rooms had like a little like off space that was so big I made it into a fourth bedroom. So for the sake of the video, I'm going to say it was a 4-bedroom house. It was upstairs, huge kitchen, 1 bathroom. The bathroom was ugly. I did not like the bathroom at all, but my twins were just born. I had a son who was brand new 1-year-old, and I had just graduated nursing school, and I felt like it was time for me to move out. Like, it was, my mom's house was big enough. It was cool. She did not kick me out, mad that I moved out. And it was on the other side of town in a not so good neighborhood, and she was mad that I didn't wait and like stay. But it was time for me to go. Like, you know, when it doesn't matter if your situation is good, you know when it's time to leave. And that's just what it felt for me. It was time for me to spread my wings and get my own place. So I moved into this apartment and I liked it. My friend, it was upstairs. The hallway was like very narrow and steep. So my original couch that I have now, it could not fit in that apartment. So I went and bought, I knew I wasn't going to stay there forever, but I just wanted to move out. So I bought a temporary couch, black fireplace that I got from Wayfair, some vases, flat screen TV. My kids' room was nice. I decorated it. It was really cute. If you guys want to see what his room looked like, I'll insert what it looked like. Yeah, so as you can see, his room was really cute, and then my daughter's room was really cute over there. The walls in her room were, so his room was yellow and her room was gray, which I think looked cute and it matched her room a little bit. And then my other son, her twin brother, he had the off room, and the reason he had the off room because the off room was connected. He had a lot of reflux issues and he would choke in his sleep, so I gave him the off room because it was closest to me. So yeah, that was their rooms. It was a cute little house. This is what the dining room looked like. It had horrible, ugly floors, but I liked it. It did the job. I don't have company, so like it wasn't like a, oh, I gotta show off and have company and my house is nice. Like, it wasn't none of that. It was just what I wanted to do for me because I don't compete with nobody and I just stay in my own lane and I like the house, so I got it. So everything was going good, and then I met the neighbor. First off, it was a weird vibe. Like, my mom is like, she's not superstitious, but my mom is like, yo, is she trying to like voodoo you or something? Because the first thing she does is give us these plants. Now, they're not like faux plants. They were actual real plants. But they were in old pickle jars with water and little roots and the flowers stemming out of the plant. I can't make this up. It was weird. So my mom smiled and because no, we're not rude people. So my mom smiled and laughed it off. And then like when the lady went in the house, she threw it in the dumpster. She was like, wash your hands. Don't touch the kids. Like, she was like super, like, it was weird. Like, and then like 2 days later we came home and there were bones on my steps. Not chicken wing bones, you know, maybe a cat found some bones in the garbage and was like eating. No, it was bones on my steps. And my mom was like, that's a form of roots. That's weird. But, you know, without any real proof, we're not going to just treat this lady any type of way. So it was like, whatever. You know, and mind you, she's not like a younger lady. She's older. She's skinny. Like, creepy. And we used to, like, smell perfume in the house. I don't wear perfume. I have kids. They have sensitive skin. I'm not about to wear perfume on my clothes and then hold a newborn baby. They're going to break out. So I don't wear perfume. I have it, but I don't wear it. And I would like come home after like a long day of work and like smell perfume in the house. We shared a back stairwell and a basement. So I don't know if she was like in my house chilling while I was gone, like with her. I can't even fathom what could have happened. In hindsight, looking back, I probably should have got cameras, but I didn't. So yeah, anyways, it was just super weird. So here's where the problem started, because at first she was nice. You know, she shared, from being a nurse, you see a lot of types of people. From what I gathered, based on the line of work that I gathered, is that she was an extra. Her mannerisms, the way her skin drooped, the way she just you can spot a fiend. Like, they have a certain look. If that makes sense. That's just from my perspective, and my mom agreed without me even saying it. My mom was like, yo, I think you moved upstairs from, you know? So later shared with us that she had cancer. Now, I think maybe from doing drugs, her immune system weakened. She developed health problems, and I think she has cancer, which is why she stopped her drug use. But I don't think that she completely stopped her drug use. I know she smoked weed, because she used to always smoke weed, and she had like this lady was black. She had like an older white dude that used to like come over there. Was super. First of all, her boyfriend was in jail. This lady was like, if I had to guess, like I said, they look 100 years older than what they really are. So, like, realistically, if I had to guess her age, and minus the fact that I think she's a drug user, about 45, 46, maybe. Her boyfriend was in jail for getting, he would go to all the, like, rent centers and, like, you know, those furniture rental places where you can, like, get furniture and pay, like, $25 a week for it. So he would go to all the local furniture stores, all the franchise furniture stores, get furniture, and then sell it to people. So, like, he would rent a couch, pay the first month bill, pay his little $25 or whatever, and then sell it to people. And he got caught and he went to jail. According to her, that's what he went to jail for. I think it was drug related, but that's just my personal business. That's just my personal opinion. So, yeah. She used to always have this like older white dude come over, and they would have like people stop in the driveway. They'll be there for a few seconds and then they'll leave. Later on, I did find something out, and I will share that later. But again, she's a drug user. She's crazy, whatever. So our problem started because the girl who lived upstairs before me did not have a car. So for that girl's entire time living upstairs, she never had a car. So the downstairs neighbor, we're going to give her a name, because I don't want to keep calling her the neighbor. We're going to call her Sheila. Oh wait, I don't even know her real name. So if I give her a fake name and it's coincidentally her real name, oops, my bad. I always used to call her the crazy lady downstairs. Like, I legit don't even know her name. But so Sheila, we're going to call her Sheila. So since the girl upstairs didn't have a car, for that whole time, Sheila was spoiled with the driveway all to herself, all hers. When I moved in, I had a car. So the first, like, couple days I parked in it. The first day I parked in the driveway, she didn't say nothing. The second day I parked in the driveway, she didn't really say anything, because I parked off, because I'm not nasty. If I'm the first person in a shared driveway, I will pull all the way to the back. If I'm first, why would I park at the tip? If I'm first, why would I do that? So the first 2 days, coincidentally, when I would come home, she would be gone. So I would just pull all the way to the back to the gate, because we had a long driveway and it was wide. So it was enough. So even if she did come home, it was enough room for me to pull around the driveway. So since I was always like the first one coming home, I would pull all the way to the back of the driveway by the gate, like going to the backyard. So she didn't say nothing. Coincidentally, one day she had the white dude come over, and he had to park on the street because she was in there and I was in there. And I mean, I guess he could have parked. He could have parked. It could have fit 4 cars, and it was a long driveway. That car could have fit, but he didn't. He parked on the street. I guess she didn't like it. She didn't like that her sugar man had to park on the street. He could have parked in the driveway. There was enough room. But I guess she wanted to feel like the boss, like, oh, I guess because the house was thin as paper. It was thin. You could hear. She could sneeze and I could hear it. So he was like, oh, you're gonna let her park in your driveway? Da, 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 da. So I was leaving home one day, and she told me and my mom, because my mom was giving me a ride, because like I said before in other videos, I don't have a good sense of direction. I will get lost. So my mom had picked me up. My car was left at home at the end of the driveway, but like her truck is really big, so we weren't staying. She was just picking me up. So she parked across the sidewalk, but you can get a ticket for that. So that shows you how fast we were in and out the house. My mom parked illegally because all we were doing was bringing the kids outside to the car to leave. So she comes outside and she goes, my mom didn't hear her. My mom's a hothead. My mom at this point already don't like her. Me and my mom are both nice people, but my mom has less of a filter than I do. My mom would just go off, especially about me, about my sister, or about my kids. My mom will go off. So my mom is in the car trying to like hear what this lady is saying to me. And what she said was, I pay extra money a month to have the driveway to myself. Now, initially I said, okay. I wasn't thinking. Initially I said, oh, okay. And then she went about her business, I went about my business, and then we left. My mom was like, what'd she say to you? And I told my mom what she said, and my mom was like, no. Because my mom was there when I signed the lease to the house to make sure everything made sense, to make sure that because it was a rental office. I never met the actual landlord. I rented through an office. So my mom was just going with me to make sure that the lease made sense. Because I'm like, I don't care how much it costs. Shoot me a number and I'll pay for it. Shoot me a number. So that's just how it was. So my mom knows that I'm like that. Like I won't ask questions. You shoot me a number and I'll pay for it. Like I have faith in people that they're not like out to get me, that are not like out to scam me. And that's my fault. But my mom knows I'm this way, so that's why she comes with me, like for the most part. So and back then I was like 20. Wait, hold up. I was like 21. I was 21. So, and I'm not much older now. That was last year. I'm still like that. So anyways, back to the point. My mom was like, that's not what they told us when we signed the lease. They said it's a shared driveway. It's a shared driveway. Don't let her bully you out the driveway. So I'm like, okay, bet. Thank you, mama, for reminding me. So that's that. So the next day, she was there first. So she was at the tip of the driveway. I didn't complain. And this was like for the whole next month. I would just go around her. If I was there first, I would pull to the back so she can pull in at the tip of the driveway. And I would have to come in and go around her and park. And I didn't care. It was whatever. Like, it was a big driveway. I didn't have to turn around, reverse, putt. Like, it was a big driveway. I had enough room to do it. I don't mind. I don't care. But my mom was like, you got newborn twins and a 1-year-old child. You come home mad late from work. I understand it's not the neighbor's fault, but at the same time, you don't need to be walking from the back of the house up the driveway. So it was upstairs and downstairs, but her entrance was right here. So our entrances were side by side. Hers was right here, mine was right here, even though the house was upstairs and downstairs. So the driveway was on her side of the house. and I would have to like walk around the sidewalk to get to mine. So basically what my mom was saying was like, this is a terrible, terrible neighborhood. You're by yourself. It's dark outside. You shouldn't have to walk all the way from the back of the driveway. If, like, she could have pulled back. She could have pulled back. And I'm like, no, mom, it's okay. She has cancer. You know, maybe like I'm a nurse. So I'm thinking, you know, this exacerbates this, and exercise. You could have intermittent loss of breath. You could be like, you know, having palpitations. Maybe like her, because you don't just have cancer. You don't just have one thing. When you have when you have a chronic illness or disease, you have other comorbidities that come with it. Maybe she has asthma. Maybe it's hard for her. So I was making up all these excuses about why it was okay for her to park in the front. I'm like, she lived there longer than me. She earned her stripes. You know, she could park in the front of the driveway, whatever. My mom was like in my head, like, nope. My mom ain't want to hear that. Nope. Nope. Park in your driveway. Park in your driveway. So it was like that for a month. She would be the first one there, but she would never have the courtesy to pull back, whatever. Okay, so you guys, as I was filming the video, my mom came over, which is perfect because I was just talking about her, and my son is making a cameo. So yeah, Mom, can you tell them, like, my neighbor just got crazy. Like, she tried to run game on me and say that, she had the driveway all to herself. And it was actually my mom, like I said earlier, it was my mom that was like, no, that's not what your contract said. When we first signed the lease for that house, the landlord said that both of you had to share.
So, right, yes. And every time I came over there and pulled up in the driveway, she'll call the police, call the city, and everything. And then I even tried to park like on the side of her, so to give her, you know, room to park, since she was complaining that she couldn't back out when she was ready to. And that still wasn't enough.
It still wasn't enough. No matter how much,
she still complained.
No matter how much space we gave her to pull into the driveway, it was still an issue. Like, her issue was not that she wanted space. She just wanted me gone.
Exactly.
And like I said, the girl who lived there before me didn't have a car. So for all that time, she was spoiled with a driveway to herself. This one day in particular, it was one of the straws that broke the camel's back. She came and knocked on my door, and they were popping off at the mouth, and she had some of her family over there to like fight me. So when I called you that day and told you that she brought her family over to fight me, mind you, I'm like 100 pounds. Like, you got family to fight me? Like, what was your thought?
It's funny now, but normally I live like in driving distance, like maybe 20 minutes away from her. But that day when she called me, I picked up my other daughter, and we was at her house within 5 minutes.
Yes.
So we gets there, and everybody's on mute. Nobody don't know what to say.
Yeah.
Don't have nothing to say. Her family member, her cousin, whatever, was on the porch, didn't say not one word. I spoke my piece. Nobody said nothing, and we went on our merry way.
Right, and you guys, literally,
she must didn't think that I was gonna get there that fast.
Right.
And she must didn't think you was gonna call your mom or your sister. But 5 minutes it took me to get there from one side of town to another.
And it was literally like over a drive.
Then she was upset when the police came, when they were on our side and not her side.
Yes, the police was on our side. And then, so she got mad, right? So then the police left, and then she tried to call again, thinking she was going to get new police.
The same police showed up.
The same officers showed up. She thought she was going to get new officers and try to like plead her case. She was so mad. She went in the house. She slammed her door. She rolled her eyes, and she would not come back outside.
And then she blasted the music till like 3 o'clock in the morning. Remember?
Yes. So I'm going to insert a clip of them blasting the music. Can y'all hear this? So loud. Because it was crazy. Like, she blasted the music. So
it was so bad to where the actual landlord was speaking on her, talking about her.
Yes, the actual landlord. So, and here's the thing with the landlord, right? Landlord told me, you know, we're getting her evicted. You're not the only person that's had a problem with her. She has a problem with everybody who moves upstairs, blah, blah, blah. So she told me to stick it out. Month 1, she said, the lady found a new house, so we're just waiting for her to move. Month 2, we're still waiting for her to move. Month 3, she still didn't move out. So it got to the point where I was like, that lady not moving. Y'all stringing me along to get me to keep paying more rent. But y'all know that lady's not moving.
They was trying to push you to go past that 6-month mark
Yeah.
So if you was to break the lease, you'll be responsible for it.
So I get responsible for paying the duration of the lease.
Exactly.
And
it went to the point to where she even had a U-Haul truck out there, like she was actually moving.
But she was getting new furniture.
She was just getting new furniture. We thought she was actually.
How did she say her boyfriend went to jail?
Oh, I forgot.
Wasn't he selling you rent?
Oh, yeah. He was working at Renter Center, and he was stealing the merchandise from Renter Center, furnished her whole house, top to bottom, from Renter Center, and that's how he got arrested and went to jail.
And wasn't he selling furniture?
And he was selling the furniture.
He was getting furniture and selling it, and
yes.
like all black market type stuff.
He was loading up the truck. She said he was loading up the truck at night for the daily deliveries, but he was adding extra stuff on the truck. So when he left out, he was dropping off the stuff at her house, and when he got off work, he was selling it to other people.
See, you can't make this stuff up. It was like when I tell you it was. And then she had that white man that was like her sugar daddy. Like they were drug addicts.
He was Italian, actually.
He was Italian.
Yes.
Yeah. Mom told me like, yo, you about to move on this street.
Right.
And I was like, no, I'm grown. I'm grown. I need my own house.
Her being grown didn't last 3 months.
Me and the kids actually. So this is how the story ends, right? I broke my lease. I did not get my security deposit back, but it was worth it. Like I said, the rent was like $750.
Yep.
So that was just a loss I had for my piece. $750 was a good deal, right?
Right.
And I ended up moving back to my mom's house for like 3 weeks, and then I got the call for this house, and I've been happy ever since.
Right. And it's a whole house, and it's a lot better and nicer neighborhood.
Right, because like I said, that house over there was an upstairs apartment. I made it to 4 bedrooms, but the bathroom was ugly. It had these little like legs on the tub that there was going to be like a creature like grab my leg from under the tub. Like I hated it.
They're called claw tubs. She had a claw tub.
I did not.
Familiar with what that is.
Well, that's what we call them upstate New York.
Yeah.
I don't know where y'all call them, where y'all at, but I didn't. It was creepy tub. I didn't like it. It was to the point where my son, David, who was 1 at the time, he wouldn't even go into the bathroom. Right. He hated the bath. I had to wash it. I had to give him baths in the kitchen sink because he would not go in the bathroom. Like, so I guess.
Right. I forgot he was scared of the bathroom.
So I guess like her acting crazy was a blessing in disguise because like I was not meant to live there. The dude somebody got shot.
Right next door.
Right next door. And I was, cause like, I'm like not paranoid. Like if I hear a lot of people like outside arguing, I'm gonna look out that window. And I was looking out the window and this dude like popped the trunk, pulled out a gun and like shot somebody right in front of me. And I'm like, oh my God. And like 10 minutes later, all these police started coming up there.
The whole street blocked.
It was on the news and I'm like, oh God, have mercy.
That was too close. Like, too freaking close.
And then.
Remember the drug that the people's buying drugs?
That's what I was going to say. So she was selling. So like I said earlier, how I thought she was a drug addict, it got confirmed later on because people would come to my house thinking that I was her house, and they would ask me for drugs. And I look at them like.
So you're using the wrong word. She was an addict, a dealer. An addict is she was using it.
She was a post-addict turn dealer.
He was coming to her house.
My house.
That she was selling the drugs.
Yeah, because like
really
I said,
the other side.
Like I said, we were upstairs and downstairs, but our front doors were side by side. So they had like the wrong address. So they would come to my house, and mind you, I got 3 kids. It would be dark outside, like 9 o'clock at night, pitch dark outside. And I'm walking into the house with my babies, and random grown men will walk up to me. Crackheads will walk up to me. Hey, are you like, you got the stuff? And I'm like, get away from me, boy. I'll knock you out. Hit you in his head with this car seat.
That was the scariest thing. Remember that night I came to your house? It was like about 11 o'clock. We was coming back from my house. And was getting out of the car, and the guy walked up on us real fast. But he was looking for some drugs.
He was looking for drugs.
Oh my God!
You can't mess with
scared.
You can't mess with a drug addict when they want their stuff.
Yes, I was terrified.
Later on, she ended up getting busted. The like some guy called my phone. He was from like the police department, and he was asking me if I seen any suspicious behavior. And I'm like, who is this? I thought it was a prank phone call, so I didn't really say much. And then the police actually came to my house and knocked on the door, and they came inside. They was dressed in regular clothes, a regular car. They was like undercover. They showed me their badges though, obviously. That's why I let them in the house, obviously, right? Okay. So they were from the police, and they had suspicion that she was selling drugs. So I don't know how that ended, but she was definitely under investigation. And just to update you guys, the landlord told me don't move. She's getting out. Don't worry. I got you to film a little more just to go in depth because I got more videos to insert. But the landlord kept telling me stay. We're getting her out. We're getting her out. We don't want you to have to save a new security deposit and a new first month's rent if you move. So stay in the house. Update you guys. I've been here a year and a half. That lady still lived there.
Live over there.
She still lived there. So if I would have sucked it up like the landlord told me to, I would still be dealing with this.
Right.
Literally. But yeah, so thank you, Mom, for being a part of the video.
Yes. This is kind of fun.
Yeah, because that lady was crazy, and I don't think, like, over a driveway, you guys, called the police on me, harassed us, 100 times in a row. So the landlord office, they used a cell phone to communicate with us. Like, it wasn't a landline. Like, they had like an office cell phone. They literally showed me the call log, and 100 calls back to back to back to back every single day, calling to complain.
The city, we called the city. They had the same amount of calls.
The city had the same calls. The police too. She kept calling back to back to back to back about me being in the driveway. She would always cry like, I have cancer, boo hoo. Like she would be cursing us out. We're filth. As soon as the police come, waterworks, crying about how she has cancer. We're bullying her. She's elderly. She said she needs the front driveway because she's handicapped. And she tried to call us like, I forget what it's called. It's not racist. It's one of those people who, like, discriminate against disabled people. That's what she tried to say we were.
Right, yes.
Like, she tried to say that we were, like, bullying her and discriminating against her because she was handicapped and that we were trying to take the driveway away from her. I literally highlighted on the lease. It said common spaces. The basement hallway is a common space. The basement is a common space. And the driveway is a common space. We have to share spaces we have in common. But, yeah. So, thank you, Mom, for being in the video. So yeah, just to elaborate on what my mom and I said, she would like literally call the police on me because I'm the one that lived there. She would call the police on me like every single day. And each of those days, the police would tell her the same exact thing. You have to share the driveway. There was just one night that I came home from work and I was just so exhausted and I was extremely tired. So I parked in the front. I was the first car there and I parked in the front. Who cares? You do it. Why can't I? And that made her livid. This is like one of the things that like ended up leading up to the big like I always knew that I was going to start a YouTube channel. So when the neighbor situation happened, I knew that was going to be good content. So I filmed it and I held on to it. Like I said, this was a year and a half ago. I held on to it because I knew that I was going to use it eventually, and I'm so glad I did because looking back, it was just such a crazy situation, like over a driveway. Like I literally did nothing to her but park, and she felt like because she lived there longer that she was entitled to the entire drive. Like say that she paid extra money a month to have the whole driveway, and the landlord was like, "That's not a thing. You can't do like they had no idea what they were talking about, what she was talking about." Like, the landlord had no freaking clue what she was talking about. So, yeah, she was not happy that I parked in the front, and I didn't care, and I didn't move. Her family did nothing, and it was just a bunch of drama for no reason. She called the police that night also. They came. They did the same thing that they did the night before, which was nothing. And so that was that. The very next night, I came home from work. She was not there, being in the front again. Because, what's she gonna do? Nothing. You can't do nothing. It's my driveway too. I was gonna park in the front. I came there. She had a whole bunch of her old furniture. Like she had furniture from out her house lined up across the driveway. I can't make this up. And the 911 call that I made, I talk about her barricading the driveway. So I ended up parking on the street because she barricaded the driveway. So this is what the police said when I called.
Happened near where she lives, and you guys are arguing over a shared driveway?
Yes. It's been going on for the longest of time. So like I'm really tired of her. You guys probably recognize the address. It's not like she's called parking enforcement to try to get me towed, to try to get me ticketed. She's called the police multiple times, the landlord 100 times a day. Like I really.
Your landlord?
Yes.
So you don't own the house?
We live in an apartment, and I live upstairs and she lives downstairs, and it's a shared driveway.
Alright. Well, let's get someone over there. Don't touch anything. What's your name?
My name is Shalise Myers.
And what's your phone number? And you said you live in the upstairs apartment?
Yes. Upstairs.
Alright, are there any weapons involved here?
No, no.
Okay. The harassment is real.
Yes, and and I'm in a year lease, so I can't even move to get away from her because
You don't have to. Because, listen, don't get upset, okay? I can clearly tell from your story that you've been dealing with this issue for a while. So just know that both of you are going to come to an agreement because we're going to have to send the police to get involved. It's going to have to stop, even if the landlord needs to be contacted by the city and the city police department. So just relax. Don't go touching the barricade. Let the police see it. Take photos of it. That way the landlord can see it. And then you guys will be moving about your day here in a little bit.
oh wait, she's outside. I'm looking at my window.
She's moving this barricade?
Yeah, she probably called you guys too then if she's moving it.
Well.
Yeah, so it was just nonsense. But here's the other half of that call.
They show one side of their personality when the cops are on scene, and then they turn around and they show the other side, or the true side in some cases. So
Yes.
just keep an eye out for, the best thing that you can do, especially being a mom with children, is to never raise your voice, never get yourself involved in a physical altercation. Photograph or videotape every single interaction that you have that's negative. That way you have some grounds. You can go to your landlord and say, look, why am I being forced to deal with this?
They keep telling us that it's a tenant dispute and that they don't have, like, they can't do anything. So I ended up stopped recording at that point, but basically what I was saying is that the landlord kept telling us, like, hey, it's out of our hands. We as landlords, we can't do anything. It's a tenant dispute, so you have to go to the city. The city didn't do, like, it was just a mess. It was just a mess. I'm not sure how that stuff works because even living with my mom and, like, we never had an issue like that before where it was just an unbearable neighbor. I never lived like in an upstairs downstairs apartment ever before in my life, so it was just crazy. Like, it was just too much. As far as the landlord involvement, the landlords did nothing. Well, the leasing office, they did absolutely nothing. They acknowledged that she was crazy. They acknowledged that she was a problem, a recurring problem that they always have with other tenants, and if I would have stayed in that house, she would still be my neighbor till this day. Because she still lives there. She still lives there. So much drama for no reason. Calling family, calling the police, I have a video of her trying to get me ticketed. Trying to get me towed out of my own driveway. Literally, the parking enforcement. Like, the police weren't helping. So she called the city parking enforcement to try to get me ticketed and towed. And when none of that worked, she would blast the music till 3 a.m. I don't care. And it was just, y'all don't hear what the landlord, here's a clip from what the landlords had to say. And yes, I have a lot of clips because I knew I was going to film a video about this one day, and I just wanted as much content that I could get for the video. So this is what the landlords had to say. I'm sorry, my phone went out. What did you say?
In your lease, it states that those are shared spaces, right? So it's telling you that you have common areas that you're going to be sharing with someone.
Right. So, yeah, because when the police had read the lease, they said they couldn't really do anything because it just said a designated spot.
Right. So basically what I'm saying is and there's other places in the lease that state you guys have to share common places, common hallways, common, like that, the basement, the attic, like those are common spaces.
Right.
So those are to be shared.
Okay, because last night it was more out of control than what it usually is. She called the police twice. in like 10 minutes after they left, they were right back.
Right.
And I just don't have time for that. I'm there by myself with my kids, and if somebody think they're trying to do something, I don't know.
I mean, what are the police telling you to do at this point? Have they given you a restraining order?
All they're saying is to ignore her.
I mean, which is truthfully, she's just, honestly, she's fucking batshit crazy. Like, it really is. Like, I don't understand her. She just is, like, on a vengeance of, like, just making everybody's life a living hell.
And then,
she's coming in here doing the same thing every single day.
oh, she is?
She just left here not long ago. She's senile. Yes.
And then I parked next to her on the grass, and then she called the police again, and then the police were like, well, what are you complaining for? Like, she moved like you wanted her to, even though she didn't have to.
Behind you. Like, what, like, that's exactly what I'm saying. Like, it's to the point where it's like she's literally senile. It's like, we're all telling her the same thing. The police are just fed up with her because now she's just like you just said, you park next to her instead of behind her, and she still just is complaining.
Yeah.
It's like, I pity the next neighbor that she has when she moves into her new place, because it's just like, I just don't, it's just crazy.
Right.
I don't know, I feel bad that this is happening. Like, my hands are tied though too, because it's like, she's moving. I already did a landlord reference for her. I know she's moving. But...
And that's for January?
That's the impression that I'm under is, like, as soon as possible, that her unit was going to be ready, that she was moving.
Okay.
So, trust me. The sooner the better, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, like, I mean, like the police said, just honestly... You know, I apologize that it's happening, but just really, really try your best just to ignore her as much as possible, because there's only so much.
Thank you for watching this video. Yeah. Comment below if you ever had a crazy cuckoo banana bird neighbor like me, or if your story was crazier. And thank you.